Hi, my name is Amy Gargis, and I'm the 4-H educator here in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And today I'm going to go over some general information about 4-H here in Montgomery County, different clubs and programs we offer, how to join, what's going on right now due to COVID, and hopefully to answer as many general questions as I can for you. So here on this first slide is a good broad overview of some of the different clubs we offer. In the top left is one of our air rifle members. In the middle was our cooking club members working together on some tasty creations. And the top right, some of our members with their snakes at the fair that is a big highlight every August. In the bottom left is our mounted drill team. So these members bring their horses out every Wednesday night to practice maneuvers together with their horses, doing intricate patterns. They practice on foot first, so they get the spacing on what they're supposed to do, and then they add that horse element in there, trying to get the horses to do all kinds of maneuvers, weaving in and out of each other, and then they perform some different places throughout the summer. Bottom middle is actually my daughter with the steer project one year, and the bottom right is some of our sewing members, all those girls that were at the regional fashion review, and they sewed all those outfits. They do an amazing job. And then the puppy in the picture is actually one of our Seeing Eye puppies in 4-H. We have a big Seeing Eye puppy club, and one of our members was in the sewing club and the Seeing Eye puppy club and had her puppy there for exposure. My name's Amy Gargis. I was kind of born and raised here in Montgomery County 4-H. That's myself showing a steer back when I was in 4-H, one of my first years. I then went on to Penn State to get a degree in animal science. And so it's kind of my passion, my wheelhouse is animal science, but of course 4-H is definitely my biggest passion of all. The picture on the right is my husband, who also was in 4-H together with me, and then our daughters who are in Souderton School District, and they travel the country showing sheep on a national level. So we definitely are big in animals at our house and in 4-H. It's a whole family project, and it's something we're all very passionate about, and my husband and I believe in for our children. So here in Montgomery County, we have what I refer to as traditional clubs. They meet year-round, once a month, for a business meeting, and then they have other activities throughout the year as well, something the kids come back and do year after year. We also offer some short courses, which are anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks, focused on a very specific topic, and sometimes things people do once, sometimes they do them multiple times, but that's what I call the traditional clubs, and we'll talk mostly about those today. In those clubs, I have about 400 traditional members. I also have a program assistant that just does embryology in the schools as part of our school enrichment. When we're all in school and doing that project, so we're hatching chicks all around the county in different classrooms for kids, and they're learning about that life cycle of embryology. And all of our clubs and programs wouldn't be possible without the heartbeat of our organization, which is our volunteers. So they run the clubs, help plan the activities. They're the ones, boots on the ground, doing all that, and I provide a lot of backup and support for them, but they're the ones planning and carrying out the activities and club meetings and things like that. So some important numbers and things to know about 4-H. The magical age of all things 4-H is January 1st. This year we have 2021. And so normally you have to be 8 to join 4-H. We also have some Clover Bud activities for kids 5 to 7. And so, but they would have to be 5 by January 1st of 2021 to be a member this year. So if they're currently 4, but will turn 5 by December, excuse me, they'd be considered 5 for our 4-H program year. And that comes back over and over when our ages are in place. That's the date we go by. 4-H is run through Penn State Extension. 4-H is in every state in the union. We're in countries all around the world. And here in the United States, 4-H is run through the land-grant university in that state. And so here in Pennsylvania, that would be Penn State. So we're tied to Penn State University, and our kids get to go up there for different events throughout the year as well. In New Jersey, for example, it would be Rutgers, it's Cornell in New York, and so on. When we meet in person, almost everything is held at the 4-H Center in Skippack, which is right on 113 easy to find, sometimes hard to pick the town you want to call it. To me, it's more Creamery. It's right by Creamery Tire. It's right there in Skippack, but it's a Collegeville mailing address. But it's 1015 Bridge Road, Collegeville, but right on 113. So the 4-H Center is owned and operated by a separate nonprofit called the Farm Home and Youth Foundation of Montgomery County. And so they own the building. It was an old Skippack Elementary School. So there's a gym, there's lots of classrooms, there's a huge property outside with barns, pavilions to use, riding rings for the horses. So a great location, a great facility for the clubs to use. So the clubs would meet there once a month. They might go off-site sometimes for activities or other events, but their club meetings, when we're in person, are all held there. Right now during COVID, we're a mix of Zoom and we're starting to get some in-person events approved. Again, our clubs are all run by volunteers. Some are still working on their plans for this year of how they want to operate during these times, but again, it is up to them and their comfort level of if they want to be in person or if they're still working on Zoom or they're just kind of holding steady to see what comes next. So reach out to us with what questions you have. We can point you in the direction of the leader of that club and see what they're working on right now. I want to switch my screens here and bring up a video done by our 4-H office to talk a little bit about 4-H in general.
4-H is a great place to learn skills, grow as leaders, and make lifelong friends. 4-H is Pennsylvania's largest youth development organization. 4-H empowers kids through life-changing project-based programs that build real-world skills and friendships that last a lifetime.
4-H is a place where kids can be
passionate,
curious,
career-ready,
unique,
self,
welcome,
caring,
diligent,
inspired,
active,
mindful,
healthy.
Be in Pennsylvania 4-H.
I'm going to transition back to our slideshow here, and we'll continue talking about our clubs, and we'll start with some of our ones that are not necessarily animal related. So the first one here is our Clover Buds Club for kids ages 5 to 7. We're currently looking for some volunteers. It's kind of a hard group to keep volunteers in because the age span is so small, from 5 to 7. So as their kids age out pretty quickly, the leaders move on with their kids to the next club they're in. And so our leaders, kids just aged out, and so we're looking for some volunteers to step up there. They traditionally met on the second Saturday of the month, but with new volunteers and what time works for them, that could change. So contact the office if you're interested in this club, and we can get you on the list, so when we have that nailed down, we can get you the information. So in this club, again, it's kind of introductory to some of the other clubs that they could join when they are 8, and so sometimes in this picture on the right, the Seeing Eye Puppy Club came to visit them and talk to them about the puppies. It's also great for the puppies to get out and meet kids, and also great for the kids to learn about that. And so you can see in a video later, the Cooking Club, partnered with them for events, or the other clubs bring their animals in for them. And just a lot of exposure to 4-H and what all we do here. Our Cooking Club meets year-round, normally on the third Wednesday of the month. Right now they're doing a lot through Zoom, so it's fun to watch them cook together. And they've also been able to bring in some chefs that might not have been able to come in person to guest cook with them, or they make edible arrangements together in the spring. Had some other chefs come in as well. The picture on the left, they were celebrating the Chinese New Year and made a whole meal to share together to celebrate that. And the picture on the right, they're working on some ready-to-eat casseroles, actually as a community service project. So lots of different fun things there in the Cooking Club. And as you can see, there's boys in that as well. Don't be shy. Our Creamery Crafters Club, they meet on the first Friday night of the month for a craft, just like a big general club, or you could just do that part. if you just want to do the crafts once a month. And then they also do a lot of sewing, and the sewing groups usually meet from January through July. And these here are all outfits the members have made, from dresses to the girl in the middle is also a figure skater, and so she made her own skating outfit. And the children on the bottom right, we're again at another regional fashion review. We have contests, and they can progress up to a state level contest. You don't have to compete as well. If you just want to sew and learn that skill, you don't have to compete. They enter them in the fair as well. Our beginners usually make a drawstring backpack and a pillowcase, and then they'll start moving on to more outfits. Our robotics and programming club, currently on hiatus due to COVID, waiting to figure out how they can continue to offer that club. They're working on that. I was actually just with the leader last night. This is a club for kids ages 12 to 18, and all kids on their first year, no matter their age or their background skill, they're all in a first year member group, and they'll be introduced to C++ programming, basic hardware and electronics, electricity, building circuits, reading sensors, and that will end with building a basic robot. After that, then they'll move into the advanced group who works on building more intricate robots and teaching them different skills with that, working together to complete challenges, and so on. So if you're interested in that club, again, reach out to us and we can put you on the list for when we have more information about what we're doing next. Our Senior Exchange Club is a fun and unique club for our 4-H members. So you have to be a member in another 4-H club to join this club. You can't just join 4-H to do this club. You have to be a member in another club. It's a 2-year commitment, and the kids, we host 1 year, we travel 1 year. Normally, on the cycle we've been on, we'll travel first. So our members get paired up throughout the year with another group, another county, and another state. They'll get matched with a partner there, and then when we go to visit, they'll stay at that family's house with that member. And then when we host in return, the members from the other state will stay in our members' homes as well. And so we've gone to, you can see they were at Texas at the Alamo, they've gone to Colorado, California, Montana, Wisconsin, all over. And it's a super great chance for the kids to learn a lot of life skills, not just seeing how 4-H is different in another part of the country, but just life skills. Maybe they've never traveled on an airplane before, staying at someone else's house, all those kinds of things, being away from home for a week. So it's a great opportunity for the kids to learn a lot of life skills there. And of course, learn more about 4-H and how it's different in other parts of the country, what they offer, what the projects are like. It's a really neat club. One of the clubs we get the most questions on normally during a presentation is our potato judging. This is open to kids 5 to 18, so our Cloverbud age kids can do this. We normally practice from November to January to compete at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. This year they just announced that the farm show will be all virtual, but I am working with the ladies that helped to coordinate that contest, and we are working on a virtual contest for our members. And so the kids learned about the different defects in potatoes. They have to identify 20 different defects in potatoes. They learn how to judge a plate of potatoes, and then there's the third part of the contest is normally a grading table where they're timed of how fast they can grade 100 potatoes, if they would be a grade A potato or not. So it takes, about 200 potatoes to simulate the contest for the kids. So we have a lot of potatoes that time of the year, and one of the other fun things with this club is we normally cook one night with the potatoes. So we've made potato tacos, we've made potato latkes, we've made all kinds of different things with potatoes over the years, potato soup, potato egg rolls, all kinds of things. So it's a super fun, just totally something different. So definitely a conversation starter, and it's neat because it's kids from all different clubs together. It's kids that they join 4-H, and this is the only thing they do is potato judging. That's their club. But it's also neat for the kids to get to meet members from other clubs that they never would have met before. Just in this bottom picture, it's kids from livestock, rabbit, alpaca when we had an alpaca club, reptile, horses, archery, chickens, it's a wide variety. So it's neat for them to meet each other. So definitely something a little different. Sounds really dorky, but the kids love it. It's crazy to try to explain. We'll talk about our shooting sports. So we offer archery. We have so many people in it. We actually have a Monday group and a Wednesday group. We'll start back up in January in the gym. You can kind of see there was a setup in the gym this past year. There's also some of these kids here are shooting outside at the regional shooting sports contest we normally have. The kids here, they can shoot compound, they can shoot recurve. If they have their own bow, that's great. Our instructors are certified and great coaches and can help, with either type of bow. The club also provides bows, arrows, equipment, targets, things like that. So if you don't have a bow, that's totally fine. The club will provide that equipment for you to practice with. And if you want to go to the regional contest, that's great. There's also a state contest and a national contest as well if you qualify up through those. Our air rifle club usually meets every Thursday night for kids ages 11 to 18, and they'll learn the 3 different stances in air rifle. They'll shoot prone, kneeling, and standing. And our air rifle coaches, again, are also some of the best in the state. Every year, Montgomery County normally has at least one of the members competing at the national contest on that team. So one year we had 3 of them. So our kids really have some great coaches to work with them. And again, we have girls in there too, open to girls and boys, and they're all great at this. One of our short courses we offer is called our 4-H Junior Toastmasters course, and this is for teens ages 12 to 18. And our great leaders and volunteers of this are members of the Bluebell Toastmasters Club. And they run this for us, and they've already reached out to me and they want to continue to do it this coming year through Zoom. Maybe at the end we can see if we can get graduation in person. We'll see what our restrictions are like then. But so it'll be 8 Saturday mornings, January through February, for about an hour and a half. They'll learn about different roles in a meeting, officer positions, how to run a meeting, public speaking, tips and tricks for that. And the kids really love this course. Our volunteers are great. Some of these kids take this course 2, 3, 4 times. It's great to see how much they improve just in those 8 weeks. And again, over the years, it's really great to see how they improve. So if you have a teen that struggles with public speaking, someone that just wants some more tips or tricks, it's a great 8-week course for them. Transitioning now to all of our animal related programs. We'll start with our beekeeping club. Our beekeeping club meets on Sundays once a month, normally from February to September. So there in the picture on the left is our members and some volunteers out on the hives. So at the 4-H Center, the club does have their own hives. You don't have to have your own hive. You don't have to be a beekeeper yourself beforehand to join this club. They'll teach you all of that. And some of our members do have that background. Some get them as they've been in the club. A great learning activity for the kids. And again, something that's kind of getting more popular again in general is beekeeping. The kids were able to meet in July to extract their honey, which you can see there on the right, from their own hives there at the 4-H Center. So they got to get together to extract it from the hive, then get it out of the frames, and then bottle it as well. Our Birds of a Different Feather Poultry Club, they meet year-round on the 4th Tuesday, and those kids in there have all kinds of poultry, whether it's showbirds, whether it's just backyard laying chickens, geese, ducks, quail, pheasants, all kinds of things. And again, their big activity is going to the fair. You can see there and showing off their chickens at the fair. They've also do a lot of other fun things. They make coop confetti. Here on the right, they made nesting boxes last year at a meeting. It's a little woodworking project for them, and then the kids got to take them home and decorate them however they wanted, and then they entered those in the fair as well. The members have been meeting via Zoom over the spring and summer, and it was actually fun for them as the kids got to do coop tours, they'd take their phones or their tablets or laptops out to their coop to show each other their different birds, but also how they keep them in their different setups. So that was neat to watch the kids asking questions about how they did this or how they did the water there or what breed was that and how they keep that in that area. So it was really neat, something we wouldn't have been able to do if we were in person, just for biosecurity or to get all those people there and at someone's house or farm. So it was really neat for them to be able to do that and show each other what their setup's like in their animals. And normally when they're in person, because there's so many breeds of chickens, the kids do rotate, bringing some different birds in so they can learn about the different breeds. Do some different projects in the club too. There's an egg-to-egg project where you incubate the eggs, hatch them out, separate out the females, and then raise them up to be laying hens at the fair. Then they'll have judge the eggs as well, to have the champion dozen eggs. So you can get to have those chicks from an egg to back to where they're laying eggs again. They also usually do a Know Your Breed project where they pick a breed to learn about, and they'll get that breed and raise them and learn about a new breed. So lots of different things to do there. They also have a subset of them working, they've been practicing for the Avian Bowl, so like a knowledge contest for their knowledge about poultry, the poultry industry, animal husbandry skills. And so they've been meeting over Zoom, practicing and learning more about the different topics for the contest. And as we go through some of these, you'll see there's lots of those different educational contests as well for the members. In our dairy club, our members have dairy cattle and dairy goats. As we go through, you'll see goats are in 3 different clubs. So depending on your goat or what your breed of goat is or what you're doing with your goat, you might have to figure out which club would be the best fit for you. So in the dairy club, there are kids again with dairy cattle and dairy goats. They meet year round on the last Tuesday of the month. And you can see in the picture on the left, that's some cousins there. So from real little, from 8 all the way up to the oldest there is actually a senior this year. And you can see one of our members with his dairy goat on the right as well. They're a smaller group of kids, but a really tight-knit, great group of kids. You don't have to have an animal to be in our clubs necessarily. We have some animalist projects, activities to do, and usually we'll help find a place to keep one, how to find one. The 4-H does not have a barn full of animals for the kids to use. It's all up to you, and you'll see all these pictures, all these animals are ones the kids have that keep all over the place at different places. Maybe it is their house, their grandparents, farm down the road, things like that. These kids all love animals and find a way to make it happen. And this club also does a lot of fun activities together because they're a smaller club, extra things. And they also do a lot of community service. All our clubs do, and they do a lot at the holidays with making stockings and bags for kids less fortunate than them. Our Furry Friends Rabbit and Cavy Club meets year-round on the 3rd Monday of the month. So this is for members, kids that are interested in rabbits or guinea pigs. And they have a fairly big club. They do lots of fun things as well. On the left here, you can see always at Halloween, they have a big Halloween dress-up contest for their animals. And they separate them into different categories and they get judged. And it's just a really fun night to see what they come up with for their animal. Another subset of the group is the hopping committee. And you can see here one of our members with their hopping rabbit where they practice teaching them how to go over jumps. They'll get a little course set up. There's contests at different other events. They do demonstrations at the fair, and our members also participate at the farm show and the celebrity rabbit hopping contest. They provide the rabbits and help teach the celebrities. So if you ever seen that at the farm show or watched it on PCN, a lot of those are our members with their hopping rabbits. In this group, they also have another subset called Have Animals Will Travel, where they take their animals to local nursing homes and other places to introduce people to their rabbits and cavies, kind of as like a therapy. And so they do that a lot normally as well. Our livestock club is a very large club. We have about 50 kids, which is surprising for Montgomery County. How many kids are raising market livestock? So this is for kids with beef cattle, dairy beef, market hogs, sheep, breeding or market, and meet goats, whether it's a market goat or a breeding meat goat project. And so again, they meet on the second Tuesday of the month, and some of these kids have one of these projects, some have all of them, and somewhere in between of what all the projects the kids are raising. These pictures are from the fair, which is again the big culmination, especially for the livestock members at the fair, where they get to show off their animals, are judged, have some other contests for them as well, and then the auction on the last day. So again, you're gonna have breeding livestock. Most of our members do have market livestock, and because there's such a wide variety of different species in there, the kids do learn a little bit about each one. Just because you have a pig doesn't mean you only learn about pigs. Since you're in the club, you learn about cattle, you learn about goats and sheep as well. A reptile club is for kids that like reptiles, amphibians, snakes, spiders, turtles, all kinds of things. They meet year-round on the third Thursday, and I like to do fun things as well. Here you can see they have their animals dressed up last year at the Halloween party. At the fair, they normally are giving talks and demonstrations about their animals to the public, which is great to see them up talking, showing off their knowledge about their animal. They do field or stream walks and cleanups where they'll go out and see, you know, what kind of animals they can find out in the streams, and then they'll also clean up the trash while they're there as well. And they bring in some great guest speakers to teach the kids more about what animal they might have. You don't have to have an animal. Again, they can help you make some connections with people, or you can just check it out. Our Seeing Eye Puppy Club meets year-round on the fourth Monday of the month, and there's also, they do lots of outings throughout the months as well. So we have one of the largest Seeing Eye Puppy Clubs in the state. I think right now we have right around 32 puppies that our youth and our adult raisers are raising. They get them right from the Seeing Eye. There's a list to be on to get on that, and they get the puppy and they teach it from about 8 weeks up until it leaves at about 16 months to go back to the Seeing Eye to be evaluated to see if it's ready to go on to further training. So they're teaching them basic commands and just getting them to expose to as many different things as possible so they're ready to go to the Seeing Eye, and then when they're out with their partner, when they're matched up later after they've graduated from the Seeing Eye, that they're not startled by things. They're used to trains and train tracks and stairs of all kinds, and kids and people of all ages, wheelchairs, just as many places and things they can take the puppies to, they can. And so that's a great feeling. Of course, it's sad when their puppy goes back, but it's a great feeling knowing that they're going to help someone else. And so if you're interested in that, again, please let us know. I'm always looking for more puppy raisers. Our third club that has goats is our Silver Pails Goat Club, and they meet the second Monday of the month. And so this is for members that have more pet goats, Nigerian dwarfs, pygmies, Angora goats, or anything else that they don't feel fits in dairy, they don't feel fits in meat or market. So a club that does a lot with, you can see goat yoga there at the fair. They usually take their goats to some different goat races around. They make a lot of goat's milk products, goat's milk soap, lotion, lip balms that they'll sell as little pampering packages. They'll make goat ornaments at the holidays to take out to local nursing homes and St. Carol's. So another smaller club, but a great tight-knit group of kids as well, of all ages. If you're interested in our horse programs, we have a bunch of different clubs here. So all the other clubs we've talked about, there's only one of each area. There's one reptile club, there's one sewing club. Here in the horses, we do have some more options. We have two that fall into the horse science categories. One is Bits and Pieces, it meets on the first Thursday, and then Central Horse and Pony meets on the first Wednesday of the month. And these are for kids that are interested more in the riding, showing, horse science kind of things. Both clubs have members that do English, Western, gaming, minis, driving, Western Pleasure, you name it, they have some kids in there working on that. I will say some bits and pieces tends to be a little bit more the Western gaming trail, Minis driving. Central is a little bit more English, but again, they both have members that do all the things. Sometimes it just comes down to what day of the week works best into your schedule. If you do already ride or lesson in a barn, maybe you go to where all the other kids in the barn, they tend to stick together at a club. So it comes down to personal preference, or what night of the week works for you. They go on some different trips throughout the year. They host horse shows at the 4-H center. There's other educational contests they prepare or work towards, other shows. There's a state level show they have to qualify through. We have a county roundup to qualify to our regional show, to qualify to the state show, which is a big event for our members, and they really love those events. They also practice for other horse science contests as well. Our Tiny Trotters Model Horse Club meets year round on the second Thursday. This is a smaller club, and I think is a really underrated club. They sometimes it's kids that just like to collect model horses. Maybe it's kids that their parents aren't quite ready for that financial commitment of a horse, but a great way to learn about horses and horse breeds, tack, things like that. We just had our model horse show, and the kids really had to know, the breed characteristics to see if they entered the horses in the right breeds. Not all the models are actually made, to a breed standard. So knowing if your model is even a good representative of that breed, background of the breed, the right markings, things like that. The kids kind of pick a theme each year, and they'll paint their own models together. Last year they did Mustangs. This year they were working on carousel horses. Then of course they learned and did a project about the history of Mustangs, again about carousel horses. So a really neat club to be a part of if you have someone interested in horses. And then for our members 5 to 7, we have the Funny Foals. They meet year round on the second Wednesday. Again, looking for some leaders there, so we can help provide some more volunteer support to help lead that club. There's a lot more safety precautions here with the 5 to 7-year-olds. You can see those kids have helmets on while they're out just grooming the horses, just to keep everybody safe. And we normally have some volunteers that trailer in some horses for them just to see them, be around them, learn about different breeds if they're working on that. Some are English, some are Western. If they do get a chance to go for a short ride on them. Also using horse tails, you can see there, sometimes the ears to learn about expressions, and there's certain project books for them as well. A rotation of 3 that our state office developed to learn and teach them about safety, general horse science things, again, breeds, markings, equipment, things like that. Also, speaking about horses, we also normally have a lot of different summer camps throughout the summer. One of our popular ones is our horse summer camp. And so, like I said, we don't normally have animals at the facility, but for 1 week in the summer, people volunteer their horses to come stay at the 4-H center. My joke is the horses camp overnight and the kids go home during the day or at night. So the kids are there from like 9 to 3, riding the horses for the week. They get a chance to go on multiple different horses. While they're rotating through, they're doing other educational things. The kids really love camp. It's great to see how much they progress over that week. Normally the last day, we'll have a show for the parents and family members to come see what their members have learned over that week. We normally offer an animal science day camp and a Clover Buds day camp, which is kind of a mix here in these pictures, where we bring in different animals for them to see, learn about. Sometimes we hatch chicks with them. So another fun opportunity in the summer. We like to match our summer camps to clubs and programs that we offer the rest of the year as well. We also normally have cooking camps. We've had gardening, archery camp is popular as well. We offer some vet science short courses, usually in January and February, for about 3 to 4 weeks at a clinic. Either a large animal clinic will go to Quakertown, or a small animal clinic. We have a couple different places we might go. And so that's again up to the clinic of what they're comfortable having, how many, and they'll tell us the dates that they're willing to run the classes for us. And so they normally get a tour of the different clinic or vet practice, learn how to take in a basic checking for vitals as they would on an animal coming in, whether it's an emergency or just a checkup, checking vitals. Then the vets will rotate each week on some different topics, whether maybe it's parasites, maybe it's x-rays, things like that. And they always talk about their career, so they get a chance to meet vets, vet techs, vet assistants, and learn what kind of schooling they might need if this is a career choice they're interested in. And the small animal, usually the last night they'll get to watch a surgery. Large animal, you can see there, they're learning how to suture on a leg, actually. We've looked at horse legs and learned about how they work, taken them apart. They learn how to do some acupuncture, all different things each year, what the vets come up with or what maybe is a hot topic that they've been seeing a lot of. There's usually some animals there. We've scoped horses, had our hands inside a cow's stomach, all kinds of things. So great hands-on experience for the kids that are interested in vet science as a possible career. I'm going to transition again to a video. This is one of our members made as a diamond clover project. So she put this together, she filmed it, and some of the other members helped her out with some speaking. So I'll let that play for you as well.
The 4-H pledge includes I pledge my head to clear thinking and problem-solving skills, which both have to do with clear thinking. They do this through a variety of things, such as giving us more responsibility in the community. This gives us more opportunity to develop and harness those skills that we are taught in 4-H, and ultimately makes us into a more well-rounded person and allows us to affect our club, our community, our country, and our world.
When it comes to being involved in 4-H, you use your heart for a lot of things. Use it for compassion and empathy, along with completing any goal that you set with your project year. You can use it to set goals for service projects, raising animals, or completing any kind of sewing project or cooking project, or anything really in any 4-H club. In the real world, if you don't have compassion and empathy for the people around you, it makes it difficult for people to achieve any kind of goal that they are setting in life.
The 4-H pledge talks about using your hands for larger service because all throughout your 4-H career, you'll be doing hands-on activities that will teach you something new every day. Whether it's doing community service, working with your 4-H animal, or sewing a new project for the state contest, you learn something new that you can apply to your future every day. Whether or not that certain subject goes into your future or your career, you still learn valuable skills throughout your entire time in 4-H.
I apply my health to 4-H by taking the time necessary to ensure that I'm the healthiest I can be. Ensuring my mental and physical health allows me to fully apply myself to projects to continue learning and growing the best that I can. It also allows me to be the best club member I know how to be, helping any way needed and learning new skills and responsibilities as I go.
We are.
We are.
We are
We are
4-H.
4-H.
Saw a lot of different things there in that video, again filmed by one of our 4-H members and edited and created by her. So one of our etiquette dinners there we offered for our members. We did one this past January for our older teens, then one again for those 8 to 12, where we had someone come in and talk to them about etiquette. They went to the Bay Pony Inn and had multiple course meals and learned how to deal with each different kind of meal and food and how to conduct themselves. And it was definitely something different and fun for them to get out and do. They got dressed up and just a fun night out. Lots of great food and learning. We snuck in learning. So lots of different things we do in 4-H, not just animal related. We've talked about a little bit our different clubs. Community service is a big part. The 4-H pledge, I pledged my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living. My club, my community, my country, and my world. And we're, teaching these kids to be great citizens and giving back to their community. And they love doing the different projects. Here again, some of those different holiday bags for kids less fortunate. Our horse clubs have done trail rides to help benefit different organizations. Over 10 years, they've raised over $10,000 for the Shriners Children's Hospital through their trail rides. Again, you can see there some of our reptile members doing pond studies and cleanups while they're there. The Christmas caroling, they're out and about at public events, and whether it's Tractor Supply Clover Days, talking to Rotary clubs about 4-H, they're out and about presenting themselves and talking about 4-H to others. Here's again in the summer with some of our summer camps, our horse camp, archery, cooking. There on the bottom, he's making a DNA strand at animal science camp out of different candies. Our summer camps, some are run by our interns, some are run by our volunteers in the different clubs. We take our kids on a lot of different events, and there's tons of stuff available to them as being 4-H members, opportunities if they choose to take them. On the left here, some of our members in our livestock judging club, where they would practice learning how to evaluate livestock in groups of 4 animals at a time, which is the best, which would be the worst, on structure. And that helps them be able to pick better projects. It teaches them decision-making skills. They have to give oral reason, so they're public speaking. They go into a room and tell a judge why they picked that class the way they did. So they were at Penn State for a contest. On the right is some of our potato judging members at the farm show with all the awards they've won. We've started a 3-year rotation called our citizenship project. And so the first year we go to Norristown for the day and learn about local government. We spent time with the commissioners. We were in a courtroom. We went to all the different row offices and learned all the different things that happen at the county level. And the next year we went to Harrisburg, which is this top left picture here. We went to Harrisburg for the day. We filled a bus of 40 kids and went to the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture first, met with the Secretary of Agriculture for Pennsylvania there, toured some of the different operations there, the vet lab, plant lab, different things there. Then we took them over to the Capitol. They got this picture here on the steps with some of our local Montgomery County legislators, and then they got recognized on the House floor while the House was in session. Got the tour of the Capitol. It was a long day, but a lot of stuff packed in there. Then here on the bottom left, the next summer we took a bus with kids to Washington, D.C. for 3 days. The National 4-H Centers in Chevy Chase, and it's set up for groups to come in, to go tour Washington, and set up really great for that kind of trip. So we spent 3 long days touring all kinds of historical places, educational, the monuments, the Smithsonian, and again, spent a whole day then at the Capitol and going on tours in there and learning how our our national government works. On the top left is our delegation to the State Leadership Conference held every winter at Penn State, at the Penn Stater, at the hotel there. They're not on campus for this event, but they're there, and our kids love to go. As you can see, we sent a whole big group. We'll fill a bus, set them up there for the weekend. There's keynote speakers. They spend one whole day in different workshops on how to be great leaders, especially if they're officers in the club. And so they're in all kinds of leadership workshops, etiquette, stress management, how to do different icebreakers, things like that. And then, of course, there's a dance, which they all love. And then here on the bottom was another trip to Penn State. That time for the state contest, they stay in the dorms, and then they eat in the cafeterias there, and they get to experience dorm life on a big college campus, and then they have to find their way to their contests on campus. And then get back. Of course, there's a dance, but the kids love to go up for those contests as well, whether it's the state fashion review, there's a physical fitness contest the kids did, the livestock seal-a-thons, judging, all kinds of contests they could compete in there. One of the big questions we have is, what's the cost to join 4-H? It's kind of a little tricky, but it's cheap. It's one of like the hidden jewels and the best deal in town. So the membership fee for the year is $21, and that money goes to Penn State. It doesn't stay in the clubs. So that helps provide for their book, their project books, educational material, other events we plan, helping to offset costs on all these different trips and things like that. And so at $21 gets you in. If you're in a horse club, it's $47 to help offset the cost of some additional equine staff members throughout the state. They've incorporated that fee in for the horse club members. So if you're a horse club member, it would be $47. Like I said, some clubs might collect an additional fee because that $21 does not go to the club. So one of the easiest examples is archery collects the $9 dues to cover their equipment costs. So if you join the archery club, you pay $30 for the year. If you then join the livestock club, it is still just $30 for the year. It's not an additional $30. That 21 or the 47, pays your fee for all the clubs for the year. So if they collect those additional dues, though, you would have to pay that. So say if you joined the livestock club first and paid your $21, you would just pay the archery club $9 to join the archery club for the year. Using that horse example, if you were in the horse club, the livestock club, and the archery club, it would be $56 for the year, the $47 horse membership, and that $9 dues for archery. So I know it's confusing, and I can always talk you through that if you have questions about that, but super cheap membership fees to join as well. Our enrollment is all online. And we have a new system opening in November. So once that's out, you'll be sure to know about that. But what we normally do is have you contact the office, and then I'll put you in touch with the leaders of the club you're interested in. You can go check them out, especially like the 2 different horse clubs. You can check them both out, see which one's the better fit, and then pick which one you want to join, and we'll get you enrolled in that club. So that would kind of be the process, is you reach out to the office. Again, we put you in touch with the leader, just to make sure they didn't plan something different this month. It's not the normal night. They have their awards party that night, or they have a banquet, or they're doing a different activity instead. So always put you in touch with the leader then, just to make sure that the next activity is what I think it is. And then you can go from there as far as joining the club or adding additional ones on. In the club meetings, once a month they kind of have a business meeting where the kids elect officers, and the officers run the meeting. There's normally a president, vice president, either a corresponding or recording secretary, or both, a treasurer, and then each club has some additional officers as well, whether it's sergeant of arms, maybe it's an activities chair, a quiz master, a fair chair. Up to each club, the kids, elect their officers, and then those kids run the meeting. They learn parliamentary procedure. So then when they're out in the real world, they know how to run a meeting. They can call it to order. They can make motions and vote on things. So Lots of great things there. Then there's normally, a business meeting of what's coming up, what the kids want to do. And then they'll break into whatever educational activity they have, whether it's a guest speaker, a presentation, different stations to rotate through. Totally just depends on the club and what they're working on. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the office. Again, my name's Amy. The best email for me is als525@psu.edu. Or you can call the office at 610-489-4315. Again, feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and we'll keep you updated. I know lots of things are up in the air right now with COVID, and we're all working through it together. So thanks for listening, and we hope to see you in person sometime soon.